Rob's doing the front end, front end build, and we're gonna hang out with him for a little bit. See what he's doing.
No, this is a brand new bike. It is available for sale as soon as I'm done. Last couple that we've done, 4 or 5 days in the office. So I got the kid in the middle of mine next weekend. So this is the perfect time.
Hi, Carla. Brand new bike, putting a fat tire on the front end. Starring Rob Murphy.
There you go. If you want to show them. So, that's stock. That's what we're putting on.
Awesome. Check it out.
That's a 180.
Yep. Actually, a rear tire running backwards on purpose because it'll be up front.
So is there any difference in the road light force and street light force? Mine's 15.
It's all rough and equivalent the same.
That's the part I don't know. You don't turn it all the way to the left, right? Just straight up.
No, turn it all the way to the left. Makes it easier.
Turn it all the way to the left.
Yep.
And leave the key in it.
Yeah. So you don't mess up the tumbler. So you know what's happening.
Yeah.
When you put the key in the unlock position,
Put the key in. Unlock.
you gotta push this up,
Yep.
hold it up, and turn past.
Turn past. Okay.
You have to or it won't come out.
And keep the key in it unless the tumbler's up, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's the tricky part. You can't find
Good
that.
question. Good question.
You can't find that on any of the videos online, so that's a tricky part.
Hey, Rob. Thanks for joining.
No problem.
Well, I meant Rob that's watching you too here. But yeah, thanks for joining us, Rob.
Yeah. Like I had a choice.
joining us. Hey Rob Shaw's asking, he's late to the video, but can the stock front fender be reused?
No.
No.
It is not wide enough and it is not notched.
It's not wide enough and it's not notched?
It's not notched. Here I can show them.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
You all right? This is the new fender. And I'll get the stock one.
Okay.
And this is the stock fender.
Oh yeah, big difference.
So it's not wide enough, and because of the wider forks, or the shaved down forks for the wider wheel and tire, they have to be notched to go around your tubes or your sliders. You can't physically do that with this because of the weldments.
Awesome. Hope that helps, Rob Shaw.
So is there only one screw holding that in there? No, there's three. There's one up top on the top triple tree, and there's two on the lower triple tree.
Those are the ones.
Yes. You don't have to remove them fully, but you do have to loosen them.
All three.
Yes. So you got two here. Now on the street glides, it's the same thing, but you have one up top. That's why I took the dash off, just so I could get to those screws.
Same as the road. You gotta take the dash off.
On the street glides, you have to take the lower dash off.
Okay.
You don't have to take the inner fairing or the outer fairing. Correct. On the street glides, you also have to make sure you remove the collar right here.
Yeah.
The road glides are not too big enough because of this. You have to.
Get out your instruction. I'm just kidding.
Now, so show you the difference now so the people can see. So this is your stock fork can. These are the ones that come in the kit. We had these gloss, powder coated gloss black, but these are notched to fit the notches in the front fenders that I showed you guys earlier.
Awesome. And then this one's not.
This is stock,
Right.
and this is what it turns into.
Sweet.
And it sounds stupid. They fit either side, but you see the seam? Make sure it goes to the back. Like this is the right side.
Oh, okay.
It will fit this way, but then you look like an idiot because the freaking weld seam is to the front of the bike.
Yeah, we don't want to. We don't want anybody looking like.
Right. So, because it will fit, it will bolt on. You won't know the difference. You get the bike all put together, and then you're going to see it and go, oh no. Because to change them, you got to take everything back off again.
We will tell Peyton Haas hello.
Is there a torque valve, torque value for the cowbells?
No, just snug. We're going to take the collect.
Yep.
I'm going to take the front suspension apart next.
Okay.
So this is the progressive 2-inch lowering kit that we're putting in. Basically, to lower it to full 2 inches, you put both of the lower damper springs in. Take those, throw them away. Don't need them. And then these are your springs. So we're going to take the front forks apart and get those ready to go in and out.
Gotcha.
So he's using it's a 12 millimeter long reach hex. They're very hard to find that kind of money at
Nice to know.
Yeah, man. Because if you use a regular one, it's not long enough. If you get one that's not long enough, you end up having to grind out the socket, so it'll fit up inside the rubber fork.
That's fine. No, I'm good, man. I don't need any of that. fork seals, and I need the copper washers for the drain bolts. You gotta be careful when you do this because it will fly apart. Like that.
That's a 19 millimeter, right?
Yes.
It's just nice to see you're human there, Rob.
All right, so basically what I did was I took you take the fork apart, everything in here that was factory, the only thing you're gonna reuse is the actual damper tube. Everything else you end up throwing away because of the lowering kit. So first thing you do, after you clean up the mess you make, first thing you do is you put both of your top out springs in. Drop your damper tube back in. That's what actually gives you the 2-inch lowering, because this did stick out further. Now with both of those springs in there, that's what gives you the lowering of the kit. What I normally do to make it easier is I'll just put the spring in and I'll turn the fork upside down so that I can put the lower slider on and tighten the bolt. It just keeps everything from wanting to shift around on you, because this is what's on the spring, but when you put the lower bolt in, that's what is actually threading into. So don't forget, put the little boot back on. Otherwise you'll be really unhappy when you have to take it all back apart, but put that in there. So this is the difference. Here's a stock lower slider. Here's what's machined in the kit. You can see it's flatter here. That matches up to the notch in the fender and the notch in the cowbells. So
Thank you.
I got a big hammer, don't worry about that.
Gotta have a comedian.
I know it's tempting, the little copper washer that goes on the retaining bolt on the bottom, don't reuse it. They are one-time use. They do crush. If you can reuse it, it's probably gonna leak. So take the advice for whatever you want.
What size is it?
Well, here's the part number.
Thanks, sir.
All right. So there's the part number. Make sure you get 2 of those. They don't come in the kit. Make sure your top bushing's in there. Make sure your flat washer's in there. And then you take your new fork seal. Fork seals do have a right side up and an upside down. You put it in the wrong way, every time you hit a bump, it's gonna shoot fork fluid out. So, I don't know if you can zoom in. That's right side up. That is upside down. See the difference? Right side up, upside down. If you put this on there this way, every time you hit a bump, you're gonna shoot fork oil out because it's not gonna trap the fluid in. So make sure it's this way.
You did one last week, right?
Yes, I did. Careful, those aren't attached to that, so they'll fall off. Just be careful.
Murph, what's the CC per fork?
Spec is 22 to 24. With this kit, you want to be, the fluid level to be 140 millimeters down from the top. So I know that that still comes out to about 22, right about 22 ounces. Alright, that fork is ready to go in the bike now. Lowering kit's installed, shaved lower sliders on. So go ahead and put that in the bike so it's out of the way. While we do the other one. I don't know if you want to come over here. I'll show them something. Come around on the other side. I'll show them something. So where you want to be looking is right up here. So when you install the fork, you don't want to just go until it stops. See how there's a little bit of a ridge on the cap? You actually want to get set about there. I have to look at it, but I can by feel. But you're going to be right about like that when you go to clamp the fork. Okay? So I have to get in there and peek. But you don't want to just go until it, till it maxes out, because then you're not getting a good clamp and it throws off your ride height and everything else. Get them close. They don't have to be exact, because by the time you put the fender on and you put the axle in, if they're off a tiny little bit, it's going to even it out. Okay, but this is ultimately, that's what you want for protrusion when you slide the forks up in. Because if you just keep going, it'll just keep going, but then you mess up your travel where the slider could smash into the underneath. Okay. And now we just got to repeat all that on the other fork. customer wants us to put the kit on and they don't want us to bring the fender, we can just put the fender on. And if they're going to have the custom cage or something on their own. But it comes bare steel.
That's the same kit I got.
Yeah, the pit bull?
Yep.
Yep.
Easy kit.
Yep. No cutting, no welding, no nothing. I did better that time.
No mess this time. For those of you just joining us, he's doing the other side. He's already done the first one. So for instruction, after I finish the video, you can go back and show all the detail that he pointed out. He's doing a fat tire front end rebuild. He's dropping. You lowered it you're lowering it, right?
Yep, 2 inches.
2 inches. And putting the fat tire on the front end as well.
Gotta go grab an Allen wrench over here.
Okay. So this is progress. And bam, that was quick.
So these are the bolts that Native Custom Bagger sends in the kit for the fender. Because the factory bolt or the factory fender has weldments on the inside, typically you don't have any nuts on the front. They bolt right in to the fender at the dead stop. But this aftermarket fender does not have that. So the way I've been doing it, I think it comes out looking better, is they send you these little chrome acorn nuts. I'll put them in so that when you tighten the bolts, they're sitting like that.
Oh,
So they look a little bit nicer. You can run it the other way if you want, but I think it looks better that way. So that's how we do it. Yes, sir. Have a good time on your trip, man.
delicately.
Another one. Thank you.
How much wider is the tire you're installing compared to the stock that was on it?
Stock is what, 150?
It's 3.5, right? This is 5.5.
Yeah. So the rim itself is 2 inches wider. So.
I've seen people put fenders on backwards too.
Oh yeah, it's real easy to do if you don't look at it, or if you look at what I'm getting. I got these paint saver shims I'm putting in, but I wanted 2 bolts to hold the fender. So what I did was I put a front one and a back one, so then the fender can't go anywhere.
Okay.
So then I can put a paint saver on this front and that back,
Okay.
and then switch and do the other ones.
Okay.
So these are the stock washers from 98 to 13 baggers that are in between the fender and the fork. They're not required in this kit, but we do it just to avoid issues. So you don't have to do them, you don't have to put them in there, but we do it. So
You say paint savers, really, no?
no, they're well, call it a paint saver, that's what they call it. They're actually machine aluminum, but basically what it keeps is your fender from jarring right against your fork. It just creates a little bit of a cushion.
Hey Brandon, thanks for joining us. So Charles Amos wants to know, will the wider tire give it better handling?
Yes, absolutely. Because your back tire is a factory 180 and we're putting a matching 180 up front, the bike is going to feel more stable when you lean, when you go around corners. It's going to feel like a sport bike that has matching size tires, front and rear. You will find yourself dragging floorboards on this because you can lean further and not realize you're leaning further. Not saying that I drug a new bike around a corner, just saying it happens.
Okay.
It also makes it a lot more stable, straight line when you're cruising down the road. Because of the wider tire, it doesn't want to track. It doesn't want to follow grooves in the road as easy. So it wants to stay more straight line. So long distance, long drives, it's a lot more comfortable.
Thanks for joining us, David.
One thing you'll notice is that they put the car on the rim. A lot of people
Yeah, that
think that they don't understand why. Because your back tire, your portion is in acceleration. Your front tire, your portion is in brake pad. So they front load and reinforce. So the tires are better.
So Charles is also asking, he has a 2015 Limited. What's the cost to do that?
We charge with painting the fender. Now your paint is going to dictate, it might change a little bit, The basic kit installed out the door is with a painted one color fender like gloss black or something like that is $4,200.
There you go.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, Dre, how you doing? You ever notice when you give somebody the princess wave, they do it back?
Help me bump this on the jack just a little bit towards me. Bump, no. Just grab the engine guard. I want to bring the whole bike towards me, but just a little bit. All right. Whoop. Nope, that's good. Right there. This was in the way. Nope, that's good. That's what I needed. I just didn't want to do it by myself. That way somebody else gets in trouble if we knock the bike off. Not just me.
So Charles says, oh yeah, you do have to change the fender. The fender's wider and it's notched out. We showed earlier in the video, so when we're done, maybe you can go back and look at the difference between the wider fender and the notch here. And then the notch is on the side, and then it's wider. And this was the stock fender. And no notches. Sorry you missed it. You missed a whole bunch of stuff, maybe. You can go back and watch it later, too.
And don't forget to go back and do the pinch bolts on your tubes. Was it 18 on the pinch bolts when we were talking the other day?
It was 18, yes.
Not that camera, lady.
I know, right? Dizzy girl behind the camera.
Just tighten it down.
Okay.
a fat front tire kit. Done. I gotta put the axle covers on. We're still gonna put lowering shocks in the back to even it out. Right now the front is lower than the back. So we are gonna put Burley slammers in the back to get to level the bike out. So, but that's your fat front tire.
All right, well, thanks everybody for watching. The man did it. Woo! Let's give him a high five. Yay! Thanks, Rob.
Yep, you're welcome.
Yeah, David, it does look awesome. And I'll go clean it up and put it out on the floor so y'all can come and get it. Thanks for joining us. We still have the band outside. Food, a lot of stuff going on. We've got some vendors. Billy Joe's Trio is outside. They sound really good. So come on out and join us.
We sent that to
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
They actually